Okay, hello and welcome to my Magic the Gathering Practice Makes Progress. I did the last stream, which was a pack opening for 3 booster packs of the Bloomborough. Got some pretty interesting cards, but we need to build up our new stuff. So, one of the suggestions that Drake said was to play a sealed event. So I have sealed tokens to use, so I am going to use them to enter a sealed event or a traditional sealed event. And to be perfectly honest, I'm still trying to figure out the difference between the two. So the first thing we're going to do in Practice Makes Progress is try to understand the difference. So let's go ahead and head into our scene here. So we're going to join into the Rumor Limited real quick, and they said seal. Now, when I first opened this game, these two were the only ones, was the Premier Draft and Sealed. They've added the traditional draft and the traditional sealed, and I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. It's one of those questions that I just discovered that I probably will need to ask. So I'm going to look at them and read and maybe see if there's anything I can understand as a difference, but honestly, we're gonna pick this one because this was the one that I was gonna join originally. You receive 6 Bloomborough packs. The cards will be added to your collection, and you use them plus basic lands to build a 40-card deck. Play games and receive prizes based on how many matches you win. I have actually never played a sealed event. I've usually just played PvP, no rankings, really anything like that. So this is the first time literally the first time I'm actually joining anything like this. I've done drafts before. I've just never done sealed. So that will be interesting. They have a white-blue bird folks bring bonuses, cast flyers who airdrop buffs onto your non-flying creatures. Make sure to have a healthy balance of flyers and non-flyers so you always have a target. Rat folk, blue-black, slow down your opponent with strong blockers and creature removal. Fill up your graveyard and unlock your rat's threshold abilities. Use them to close out the game. Black-red, lizard folk, small and go big. This black-red deck uses a variety of artifact synergies, including the infamous affinity to summon powerhouses from Magic's past and future. Red-green, raccoon folk, ramp up your mana to bring big raccoons that dominate the battlefield. Include a few extra cards with high mana values to help trigger the expend ability, which I have not seen. But not so many that you fall early behind the game. White-green, rabbit folk, assemble as many rabbits and rabbit tokens as you can. Look for spells that affect a reward for having lots of creatures in play, or pump up your whole team in combat. Bat folk, white-black, deploy an army of living flying bats and reap rewards for gaining or losing life in your turn. Mix some good blockers and defensive spells to slow your opponent down while you attack in the air. Red-blue, otters folk. Otters love when you cast instant and sorcery spells and will reward you for doing so. Aim for fewer creatures and varied spells, especially ones that help you control the battlefield. Black-green, squirrel folk. Dominate the mid-game with big creatures and creature removal spells. Look for ways to fill your graveyard and create food to advantage of the squirrel's forage mechanic. White-red, mouse folk. Mice always prefer to be on the attack, so include plenty of aggressive, low mana value creatures. Support them with equipment, combat enhancing spells, and abilities to trigger the Valiant ability. And frog folk, blue-green. Make use of the creatures with abilities that trigger when they enter the battlefield. Many frogs have ways of blinking creatures or returning them to your hand. With all that extra value, you'll be strong in the late game. I am terrible at late game. I'd like to stay somewhere between early game and mid game. If you've ever seen any of the matches that Drake and I have ever played, if I don't have the advantage in 8 turns, I will lose. I've usually lost to him. So, yeah, we will see. We'll see how my first seal event goes. Okay, so the first thing was to see how different these were. So that was just sealed Bloomborough, and then traditional has less. Here, so you get up to 4 wins. 0 wins, you get that. 4 wins, you get all of that. 2,200 gems and 3 packs. Okay. And but otherwise the same. And then, oh, okay. And then regular sealed was you gotta win 7 times. Well, to get that. Okay. This was apparently the one I was... Now I'm about to, do I want to do traditional and try to go for it? Because they're similar. Keep playing until you reach 2 match losses, or do I want to keep playing until I reach 3? I'm going to go. That's a good question. I'll go with the one I was originally going to go with, and then I have a bunch of tokens actually from trying to jump into it in sets that I didn't really care for, so I should be okay. I'm gonna go with this one, and you have to play until you lose 3 matches. So we're gonna play this one, see if I do fine. I'll get at least 200 gems and 3 packs at the very minimum. So regardless, I'm gonna get something. So I'm gonna play with 1 seal token, and we'll see how I do. All right, open 6 packs. Here goes. Okay, so my first thing is, I got Season of Weaving, which is 6. Choose up to 5 worth of modes. You may 5 paw worth of modes. You may choose the same mode more than once. I can do 2 draw cards, or I can do 1 paw, draw a card, 2 paws. Choose an artifact or creature you control, create a creature token that's a copy of it. 3, return each non-land permanent to its owner's hand for 6. Okay. Hired Claw, red. Whenever you attack with 1 or more lizards, deals 1 damage to the opponent. I actually like that. It's kind of like the my dwarf deck from years ago. Let's see, black. Whenever a scavenger's talent, whenever 1 or more creatures you control die, create a food token. It is triggered once each turn. This is an enchantment, okay. And then if I pay the mana, I increase it to level 2, I guess. Gain the next ability. Gain the next level as a sorcery. Okay, so if I pay it as a sorcery, I add to level. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent target, player mills 2 cards. If I level up again, at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice 3 other non-lands. If you do, return a creature from your graveyard. Okay, so that's a graveyard filler. If I have graveyard cards, it's great. Zorlin, the Cosmos Caller, a legendary bat cleric with flying and vigilance. Whenever a bat you control gains attacks, you gain 1 life. When Zorlin enters attacks, you may pay and 2 life. When you do, return a target non-land permanent card with mana 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter. Finality counter is if a permanent with a finality counter on it would go to the graveyard from the battlefield, exile it instead. Okay. Okay, I have 2 Hired Claws, a Mockingbird, which I've seen before. Let's see, Bat Warlock, Offspring. Offspring means you may pay an additional black cost as you cast a spell. If you do, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 copy of it. It gets flying. And reveal the top card of your library, put it in your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. Okay. Another Hired Claw, Mockingbird, Portent of Calamity, a sorcery. Reveal the top X cards for your library. For each card type, you may exile a card of that type from among them. Put the rest in your graveyard. You may cast a spell from among the exiled cards without paying its mana cost. If you exiled 4 or more cards this way, then put the rest of the exiled cards into your hand. This seems like it, if I'm reading correctly, this seems like it would go really well with, for example, Scavenger's Talent, level 3. Okay. The one thing that I know that I'm not good at the moment yet, excuse me while I do this, is the, what's it called? what was I saying? Oh, sorry, I was trying to put a blanket on. Is the need to be able to play a color I'm not familiar with, which does worry me a little bit. I am mostly red, and I'm comfortable with. I'm very good with red, generally speaking, as a heavy hitter. I'm okay with green, so those two together are pretty good. After that, it goes like black, white, blue. Though I do sometimes do blue okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm building a card with all of. I guess I was trying to open up one at a time, but I guess I didn't. Okay, so I still don't understand this gifting process. Like I was telling Drake when I was talking about it, I don't understand the gifting process because the way the text is written, it seems like a mandatory thing to happen, but it's not. It doesn't have a cast. It just has if it was promised, then it does, or if it was accepted, or if it does, if it was this, if it was that. That if kind of throws me because it's written in a way that says it's mandatory, like menace or flying vigilance, right? These are just applied to the card automatically. So I'm still trying to figure out the gift anything thing. Let me see. Creatures you control get 2/1 till end of turn. If you control a rabbit, scry 2. Let's see, I have Dewdrop Cure is nice, except for I don't understand that. Into the Flood, Gift the Trapfish, right? Bella and Crier. What's my next set? Look at how many blues I have. I might end up having to play my weakest set of cards. Let me see what I have with my comfortable set first. So first I'm going to go with reds and see what I have and then build from there. If I have to change it, I will. I have the Hired Claw, which would honestly be great. Then I have Sazakap's Brew. I still don't understand the gifting, but I might have to just put it in just to see how it works. But I was kind of hoping to do that just for regular plays, but I haven't done it yet. I literally just was like, all right, super busy, let's jump into a seal. That'll be fine, right? That's good. Harnesser of Storms, Otter Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature or otter spell, you may exile the top of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Triggers once per turn. Lizard Otter. If I tap it, it deals 1 damage to my target. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap it. Oh, this would go well if I have good spells. Okay. Alania's Pathmaker. When it enters, exile the top card of your library. Until the end, you may play that card. Menace and Reach would be good against anyone that's got flying. And to be perfectly honest, flying creatures do look like they would be a real problem. So I think I will need to have some reach. At least a few reaches in the hopes that I'll have enough protection from that. Frilled Spark Shooter enters with a 1/1 counter on it if an opponent lost life this turn. Okay, so if I lost life, then I can cast it. Let's see. Conduct Electricity deals 2. I'm sorry, deals 6 damage to target creature and 2 damage up to 1 target creature token. Kind of like a electric bounce when it goes from bounces from 1 to the 1 to the 1. Let me see what my dual colors are. My lands, I have when Hidden Grotto enters, Surveil for 1. Look at the top card. You may put it in your library. Uncharted Haven enters tapped. As it enters, choose a color. Okay, I have the artifacts here. Bumbleflower Sharepot enters, create a food token, sacrifice, and 5 and tap. Destroy non-land target, activate only as a sorcery. Equipped artifact equipment. Each creature gets +1/1 and has vigilance and reach. That sounds like a good one. Tree Mascot Changeling. Oh, this is the one that was kind of new. This creature is every type. Yeah. And then I have Tangle Tumbler. Vigilance. If I play 3 mana and tap it, I put a 1/1 counter on a target creature. Tap 2 untapped tokens you control. Tangler Tumbler becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Oh, this is a vehicle. Oh, I know full well that if Drake gets his hand on that card, I am going to be in so much trouble. Okay. And then I have Frog Druid, gets me reach. Exile another target creature you control when return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. Activate that as a sorcery. I have Veteran Guard Mouse, red white, Valiant. Valiant is whenever Veteran Guard Mouse becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time, it gets 1/0 and gains first strike until end of turn and scry 1. Okay. I have the Zorlin. Let's see. Moonrise Cleric, white, black. Whenever it attacks, you gain a life. I saw the black cleric here. Rat Warlock, Threshold. As long as you, as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard, Mind Drill Selling gets 3/0. That would be handy. I'm really bad at graveyard management at the moment. It's not one of my strong skills. But we'll see. Let's see what I can come up with. And then I was kind of hoping for like a red-green of some sort. Flying, whenever Plum Creed Mentor or another creature you control with flying enters, put a 1/1 counter on a target creature you control without flying. Okay, I have to create a 40-card deck from all these cards. Let's see. My greens, I have Squirrel Archers, but I mostly have 2 actual creatures and the rest are instants. I would definitely need to have more creatures. Okay, I think I'm gonna have green for sure. I like Frog Druid. When it enters, 1 mana, put a 1/1 counter on a target creature and gain 1 life. Not bad. It's like a defender. 0/2. Cache grab, mill 4 cards. You may put a permanent from among the cards, mill this way into your hand. If you control a squirrel or return a squirrel card to your hand this way, create a food token. I could play food tokens. That wouldn't be a bad thing to do. Squirrel Archer has reach. Whenever you expend meaning you expend 4 expend a number. When you expend 4, as you spend your 4th total mana cost during a turn. So this activates when you spend your 4th total mana to cast spells during a turn. So if I cast spells, this activates. I get 1/1 and Vigilance till end of turn. I like things to build up, so where is that? Polywallop. This spell costs 1 less each frog you control, of which I have no frogs, or 1 frog. So it costs 3 if I were able to do that. Okay. Let me see what my reds are here. Well, it looks like black is probably my best bet, but I'm not sure I want to go with black and graveyard management if I can avoid it. Okay. I have a Squirrel Warlock. If I tap it, pay a life. I draw a card, activate only if 3 or more cards left your graveyard this turn or you've sacrificed food this turn. Well, that's not going to help me if I'm not trying to use that tactic. In my blue category, what do I have? I have Rat Rogues. Let's see. Shoreline Looter can't be blocked. Threshold. Whenever Shoreline Looter deals combat Damage to a player, draw a card. Then discard a card unless 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. Okay. Rat Rogue Thought Shucker. Threshold. Pay 2 mana. Put a 1/1 counter on Thought Shucker and draw a card. Activate only if 7 or more cards are in your graveyard at once. Rats are tough in that you have to be really good from mid-game to late game because you have to build up. You have to spend your beginning part building up your graveyard, it seems like. At the beginning of your upkeep for the Mind Whisker, surveil 1. Oh, sorry. Threshold. As long as you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, creatures get -1/0. Sugarcoat. Enchant or creature or food. Enchantment permanent is a colorless food artifact with 2 and a tap. Sacrifices argument, you gain 3 life, and loses all other card types and abilities. Frog Soldier. When whatever water spell attacks, if another creature entered the battlefield under your control this turn, it gains flying until end of turn. Oops, what did I do? Oh, there we go. Mockingbird. Enter as a copy of any creature in the battlefield with a mana equal to the amount spent on this. Portent, we saw. Season of Weaving, we saw. Daring Wave Rider. You may cast target instant or sorcery card with a mana value of 4 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. Dire Downdrafts. This spell costs 1 less. To cast, if it targets an attacking or tapped creature, target creature's owner puts it at the top or bottom of the library. I'm actually kind of nervous because I'm not seeing cards that I actually like, you know what I mean? Like, I see, I'm just like, well, there's so many rats. I have to play a rat. And I'm bad at rats. Okay. Let's see. I don't have any rabbits to play, so anything rabbit related, probably not in my best interest, at least. Let me think. And simultaneously get more comfortable so I can concentrate better. Okay, I want at least one color that I can feel comfortable with inside this. So I'm thinking I'd like to use my red as my starting point, and then I'll add one of the other colors to it. I'll make a dual color deck, obviously. Let's see. Let's start with my reds and see what I have. I have 2 Hired Claws, which I'm going to add to the thing. Because Hired Claw having 1 mana cost, and then whenever you attack with 1 or more lizards, having 2 of them will help. I have the Lizard Otter here, and the Lizard Archer, which I'm going to cast here. So, okay, I'm going to have 1 Conduct Electricity because it's a lot to cast, so not great. Target player choose 2 cards. If no. Let's see. I'm going to put Alania's Pathmaker. Whenever a non-creature or otter spell, you may exile it. Play it for 1 turn. I'm going to put that in there too for now. And I think that's what I'm going to start with. That's what I have. So my next question is, do I want to go green? I'm going to put short bow. Let's see. I'm going to add artifact. I'm going to add Tangle Tumbler for the moment and see where we go from there. I am going to add add this, and then I'll kind of see where I want to go from there. Let's see, all right, so I want to add that, and I'm going to add that. Okay, so now what colors do I have? I have red, and I can use white for my veteran mouse, but I don't really like it. Alright, do I want green or do I want black? Okay, I can have sorcery. Fel is right there. Let me see what my black cards look like. I have Squirrel Warlock. Activate only if you have 3, if they've left the graveyard, which if I'm already kind of hesitant with graveyard manipulation, not my greatest thing to use. Scavenger's Talent sits on the thing. Whenever one or more creatures you control dies, create a food token. That would not be a bad one. It could also, yeah, actually that might not be a bad one. So I might go black just for the Scavenger's Talent card. There's Fel, obviously, destroy target creature. Dagger Fang Duo. When they enter, you may mill 2 cards, and they have Death Touch. Offspring for the Darkstar Augur. You may pay the additional cost of the spell. If you do, this creature enters, creates a 1/1 copy of it, and has flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top of your card and put that into your hand. You use life equal to its mana value. You have a sorcery Dire Sight, survey, then draw, lose 2 life. You know, this might be the safest card. Nocturnal Hunger. Gift of food. Destroy a target creature. If the gift wasn't promised, you lose 2 life. This might be the safest card to try gifting something. Let me see. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Then, if you control a rat, surveil for 2. Second World wouldn't be a bad one either. Let's see. Menace. When Thought Stalker Warlock enters, choose a target opponent. If they lost life this turn, they revealed their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. They discard that card. Otherwise, they discard a card. Huh? If they lost life this turn, oh, I see. They revealed in hand. Then you get to choose what they get to discard. Otherwise, if they haven't lost any life, then they just discard a card of their choice. Okay, that makes sense. Hazel's Nocturne. Return 2 cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2. Offspring for 3. It's getting kind of expensive, so I'm kind of worried about going that far. Stargaze, for example, is X plus X amount of mana. Look twice at the cards from the top of your library. Put X cards from among them into your hand. You lose X life. So I'm basically paying life to Stargaze. Same for here. It's 5. When they enter, you gain 2 life and everyone loses 2 life. You know, black for these 2 cards might not be a bad advantage here. So I might actually go with that. Let me see what I have for green. I have Oak Hollow Village. Do I have raccoons? I have lizards. I have an otter. Otter, lizard. Otter, wizard. And lizards. So at the moment, this Oak Hollow Village has spend mana to cast a creature spell, but also has tap and spend a land, put a 1/1 counter on each frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel you control that entered the battlefield this turn, which will be handy. I don't have any at the moment, so not helpful. Let's see. Frog. 1/1 creature, gain life. Cache grab, mill more 4 cards. Overprotect, target creature gains all of this. 3/3, trample, hexproof, and indestructible till end of turn. Choose one, destroy target creature with flying or enchantment, or draw a card and create a food token. Raccoon Warrior, that's the expend one. Squirrel Archer. A part of me is kind of like this. Everything is saying I should be using like a black in my deck. Let me see what my white cards are. I very rarely play mono white. Let's see. Enchantment. When Banishing Light enters, exile the target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. Let's see. This one. Yeah, I've seen this one. I have this one in the deck. My own deck. Let's see. So Thistledown players, whenever Thistledown players attack, untap non-target land. Sorry, untap target non-land permanent. Wax Wane Witness, flying and vigilance. Whenever you gain or lose life during your turn, it gets +1/0 to end of turn. And that's worth 4. Star Charter, flying. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained or lost life this turn, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature with a power 3 or less from among them and put it in your hand. The rest goes in the bottom of your library in a random order. And Rabbit responds 2/1 until end of turn. And if you have a rabbit, control a rabbit, I should say, scry for 2. I don't think that these creatures are that helpful. I mean, it's not that they're not helpful. I just don't think I can utilize their skill sets just yet. So I'm thinking probably going to go red-black. Though red-blue is not looking too bad either. Let's see. Frog Warden. Let's see. If another creature entered this battlefield, it gets flying. Dire Downdraft. This causes... It's less to cast if a target is attacking or tapped creature. Daring Wave Rider. Flying. No, I think it's still going to be black-red. I think that's what it's going to be. So I'm going to go with Psychic Whirl. Hazel Nocturne. I'm going to go with that. Daggerfang Duo. I guess I will use... Yeah, I'll use that. Obviously Fell. 2 Gildives. And then... Dire Sight or Thornplay. How many creatures do I actually have? Creatures, I have 12 creatures. 2 instants, 3 sorceries, 4 artifacts, 1 enchantment. So 12 creatures, 9 non-creatures. Okay. I'm gonna pick Dire Sights. So like this one seems simple. Now that I'm looking at it like recently, like so if it's, let's say this one makes more sense because like gift of food, like I have to, oh, okay, so I could, I guess in theory, choose not to do it because I don't have food. So if I don't have a food token to gift it to my opponent, then this will happen. Okay. This might not be so bad. As long as I'm not like, 2 health at the end there and whatnot. This might not be a bad card, though I don't think I want to not use... Yeah, I think I'd rather have that. Alright, let me see. Alright, so with that, I have 13 creatures and 10 non-creatures, with the average being around 3. I don't think that's... I'll have 8 reds, 11 blacks, and then some artifacts, and then 17 lands. So I have 8 swamps, 7 mountains, hidden grotto. Okay, I guess we'll go with that. I'm still trying to decide if I really want to have this one. I do have a food token, so in theory I could actually do this and still not lose life. So that might not be a bad one. Oh wait, I do want Thornplate Intimidator. Okay, hold on. Yeah, because I do want this for sure. I can cast 3 to get Offspring. Though I will say I don't know if I can just cast it. I'm assuming I can cast it at any time. As long as it's still on the field. When this creature enters target, opponent loses 3 life unless they sacrifice. I want that. I want that. What is this? Tangle Tumbler. Alright, as much as I like my vehicle's idea, I think I'd rather go with one that I am much more assured of being able to use. I will figure out the vehicles down the line. Okay. Alright, I think I feel good. I think I feel good about this deck. 14 creatures, 9 non-creatures. I think I feel good about this deck. Okay. Alright, so that's my first... Oops. Alright, that's my first sealed event deck that I'm choosing, and... done. Okay. So, let us... resign. I'm kidding. Let's try it. See what happens. I'm so nervous. Rice ball character. Alright, right off the bat, I have 1 swamp and 2 mountains, which is fine. This one costs 3, this one costs 3, this one costs 1, this one costs 3. I'm going to... I don't want to mulligan because I don't want to run the risk of not having lands. Having 3 lands in these is not bad. I have Hired Claws, so I'm not hurting at the beginning. They're a little later than I'd like. These 2 cards, this instant and this... Oh, maybe that's too much. No, let's keep it. Let's keep it. I run a real gamble with those 2 cards though, so maybe I'm at the maybe that was the wrong choice kind of feel, you know? Yeah, already running into it. At the very least, I want to at least get a creature out early. exiles card from their hand if it was... Okay. Oh, I have to exile a card. Okay. I guess I'll exile... I have to go in my graveyard. It's gonna suck, but I can do it. Alright, whenever you attack with one or more lizards, this deals damage. So if I attack, it deals 2 damage. Hey, it's a 3-color deck. We got that kind of guy, hey? Emberheart, they have haste and prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this character gets 1 until end of turn. Okay. Whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Okay. Alright, let's... surveil. No, we'll keep it. That's fine. We'll do an all attack. We're gonna go ahead and hit really hard. Put a 1/1 counter on higher call. Activate only if an opponent lost this life each turn. There we go. Okay. So much happened at once. Okay. They got hit with enchant creature. When it enters, target creature and opponent controls can't block. I haven't heard of that anyway. This gets 1/1 and haste. And then it targeted this one and got... Okay, and then it got all that. Sacrifice. No, I'm not gonna do that. Let's see, this one is return 2 target creatures. I have 1 in my graveyard, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this for now. I would love to cast with Offspring, but we're gonna go ahead and cast it now anyway. As is. Oh, yeah. I'm so nervous. I'm making silly mistakes. I probably could have cast it with Offspring because I wasn't paying attention. I'm gonna attack. He's probably gonna try to block, which is totally fine. Okay. Now we're starting to head toward mid-game. This is where it starts becoming really wonky for me. That hurts. That hurts a lot. Whenever Bandit talent enters, each opponent discards 2 cards unless they discard a non-land card. That kind of really hurts a lot. And I hit the... Oh my god, I'm so scared. I hit the wrong button. I meant to do the submit. I hit the decline instead. So as you can see, I have first, what's the word I'm looking for? I have first sealed event jitters, and I am getting way too in my head. I gotta get over it. Okay. Okay. I wish I had a rat. That'd be nice. And then I'm going to attack. They have flashback cards, so I might have misread something. I don't know. We'll see. I think I definitely need to calm down for sure. Yep. Basically got me with that little section there. Ugh. Okay. Okay, so that was an embarrassing set of mistakes that I did there. Okay. First and foremost, I have time. I have to remember that I have time to actually sit and think. It seems like I don't because I'm constantly this and that. But I have to be able to remember that. I gotta slow down my thinking so that I can actually stop making dumb mistakes, like hitting the wrong button or anything like that. That's my first thing. And the second thing is, I gotta breathe. I gotta breathe. This is kind of like when I had like first auditions and stuff like that. Like when I started my career as an actress and a musician. Those first time nerves always get me. And I still have really, really bad stage fright even now. So it's like I have to go through the same process of breathing. I know you guys can't see me, but I'm like, oh, mildly shaking, but I can do this. It's my first event. I have sealed tokens, so I'm not hurting to not be able to try again. And there's not other opportunities that I can play. I have draft tokens too. Plus, I have Drake that we can literally challenge each other. I can do PvP, so this is just one of those things that I'm trying that's brand new, a challenge for myself to get out of my own comfort zone so that I can do something daring, something new, and grow from it, because practice makes progress, but at some point progress does mean you have to step out of your comfort zone. So, we are stepping out of our comfort zone, recognize I made many mistakes, and we hit the play button one more time. All right, just like I've told both coaching students before, remember what you did well and try to re-emulate those things and then learn from the mistakes we made. So don't harp on the mistakes, do learn from them. That's the goal. So I did actually do a pretty good job, I think, of balancing what it has. I don't think my mulligan at the my choice not to mulligan at the beginning was a bad one. And I think that my reasoning for keeping it was actually pretty sound. Okay. I started off okay, understanding how I wanted to work my hired lizards. I want to make sure I keep that and not lose them too soon, like I just did. Take my time, read the cards over, comprehend, go from there, breathe. I am playing Little Pony. I am up against opponent. Okay, first things first, I have 3 lands, so that's good. I have a spell. I have a bat duo that costs 5. That's a lot. I'm not really happy, about that, but I don't think it's a bad thing to have either. The problem is I don't have any creatures either. As much as, but I don't want to lose Fell either by shuffling back in the deck. I have time. Think first. I do have 3 lands. meaning that at the very least, it's 3 less lands that I have the potential to draw. So my chances of drawing a creature the next turn might not be a bad one. However, I currently don't have a creature now. I have artifacts that I can set up the field for to get creatures and then hold out and whatnot from there and trust my draws that I balance my deck all right. Do I want to risk I'd say the first 1 or 2 turns for the sake of getting a card, for the sake of Fel and these artifacts? I also don't want to use Uncharted Heaven right off the bat. I'll make sure I have mountains. I think I'll keep them. I think I will take that gamble. She's gonna come around. I have feeling. Okay. It is a gamble. I love this feel. I'm gonna play a mountain. Okay. I'll play another mountain. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put Hired Claw right out. Pot on the field as an enchantment, and then create a food token. That was tasty. I need 5 mana to sacrifice this share pot so that I can use it. So that's something to keep in mind. But I do have a thing. So that's fine. I will attack. It attacks for 2 because it deals at least 1 damage for itself. Another 3-color. They're playing Plains, Forest, Swamp. Okay, so this one was Offspring. They got the Offspring. They trample. Whenever a creature you control becomes target of a spell or ability, put a 1/1 counter on a target creature you control other than that creature. Okay. Is this still their turn? Is it my turn? It's my turn. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability opponent controls, 1/1 counter. Okay. Vigilance and Reach. I am going to I'm going to attack. They have fell. At the beginning of your combat, put a 1/1 on it. Oh. beginning of your combat on your turn, put a 1/1 target on a creature you control. Of course it did. Of course it did. Alright, I put Guild Dive Duo. Level 2, permanents you control have a ward. Wow, yay! Yeah, of course they do. No blocks. They hit me for 5. Let's see. I want to target it and I have to cast it. What was that? Whenever you control... What just happened? Wait, what? Paw Patch has whenever a creature you control becomes a target. Oh. Right. Resolve. I have no choice. Resolve all. Auto pay. Ugh, do I attack or not? They're gonna hit me for... Okay, no attacks. I need to block something. I'm just hoping that I can draw something. They have enough to upgrade to level 3, which would give them double counter. Banishing Light. When it enters, exile a non-land permanent target until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. They just have removal spells. They hit me with instant. And the worst part about it is I cast a spell, and whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, put a 1/1 counter on a target creature other than that creature. So I'm like, well, this is gonna suck a lot, and I don't know which creature to do because it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna suck no matter what. It's gonna suck in every possible way, but I've got to get one of them off the field. And that's the only way I've got. Resolve all. Just one of them. I need to get one off the field to give myself at least a bit of a fighting chance. And even then, I'm struggling with my fighting chance because I had to take out a lifelink creature. And that's that. That's what I got. I can also sacrifice some food. That's what I've got. That's what I got. I was gonna say, I've got nothing. Please hit me. Alright. Maybe mulliganing my first hand would have been the better choice. I'm not sure. Man, there's a lot of tricolors. I don't know, maybe I should have tried going for that. But even just going with these two colors, I'm still struggling. Just trying to get used to the little banters here and there. Ultimately, I just really wanted to be able to like receive the prize packs and be able to build my collection a little bit so I can build my own deck. That's ultimately why I wanted to do a sealed deck event, was because I wanted to collect more cards so I can try building my own deck and then playing playing normal games so I can actually learn a little bit better. But you can only gain them from either buying decks or playing in matches. So here we are, playing in matches. And I want to actually try to, master this set a little bit. This is a set it's one of those things where you're like, I actually found a set I really want to sink my teeth into. This is that set for me. Alright, we're at 2 losses now. Okay. I don't think I did too bad. I really didn't have the hand I probably should have started with, so if I have no creatures, I definitely need to make sure I have them. If I had hired lizards right off the bat, I'd be golden. So if you click end turn but change your mind before the turn ends, you can cancel that by quickly pressing enter or return on the Mac or clicking end turn again. Oh. While drafting, you can hold down the Alt key or option on Mac to show how many copies of the card you've already owned. Oh, that's handy. You know what? I feel like if they have monsters for their avatars that I've never seen, they probably know more about this game than I do. Okay, so we have 3 lands, 1 spell, 1 I can cast now, and then some I can't. These are worth 4. This is worth 3. I'm going to mulligan. Okay. I'm going to keep 6. I'm going to get rid of that 1 spot. So I put the scavenger's talent right out. Alright. I am going to cast Changeling. Tree Mascot. Changeling, this creature is every creature type. Oh, look at that. Alright, this one is Harnesser of Storms. Whenever you cast a non-creature or otter spell, you may exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may do that. Whenever you cast a non-creature or otter spell. Okay. I'll not attack. Tempest Angler. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Tempest Angler. Oh yeah, we are 100% getting rid of that at some point. Right. I feel very weird about not attacking so early, but I think I need to give myself a little bit of a chance to defend, especially with the way that they're kind of going. But I also run the risk of them putting out more creatures or spellings or something, or spells or something like that. Especially knowing that blue heavy spells. Yeah, like that. Haste whenever a player casts a second spell each turn, it deals 2 damage. Like that. Yeah, this Corsication Mage, 100% I want. I'm probably gonna end up making that. Oh, I have fell. All of these are terrible, but I definitely can't let this one get any bigger. I just can't. I think that was the right choice. I know, it's just the damage to me. Oh shoot, I totally forgot it gets vigilance. I am a goober. I thought it just, for some reason I was thinking it just gets reach. I totally forgot it gets vigilance. So I should remember I have to attack regardless because I have vigilance on it. Okay, where is it? Where is that one? Where is this one? I don't like it. Yeah, you. I can't have that. I just can't. I can't do that. It keeps hitting me. I'm gonna die anyway, but I'm just gonna not have this. That one is hitting me for 2. I need that. I need that. Otter. That's a good otter. And that one, if you're good at using your spells, yeah, that's a good otter. That's a good lizard too. So I got my 3 losses. I'll claim my prizes. But I did still get at least a participation award, which is nice. So let's go check out the packs I just earned, shall we? As the last thing of the day. Alright, so let's see. Jolly Gerbils. This is too cute. Whenever you give a gift, draw a card. Oh, I have plenty of gift-giving cards. I have Raccoon Rallier. Tap this. Target control. You gain haste until end of turn. Activate as a sorcery. And then I got a new card. Elemental Insect. Huskbersker Swarm. Menace and Death Touch. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each card you own in exile and in your graveyard. It's worth 8. So, yeah. And then I got a thing. Alright, I got Fountain Port Bell. When it enters, you may search your land for a basic land, reveal it, shuffle it, put a card in a deck. Bonebind Orator. If I pay 4 and exile it from your graveyard, return another target creature from your graveyard to your hand. I got Night Fisher. Whenever another non-token bird you control enters, create a 1/1 blue fish token. Tidecaller Mentor has Menace and Threshold. When Tidecaller... I'm kind of confused as to what Threshold actually means. When Tidecaller Mentor enters 7 or more... Oh, maybe Threshold is if this cap is reached. Maybe that's what it is. Kind of like you have to cross this threshold before this activates. I think that's what that means. If 7 or more cards are in your graveyard, return up to 1 target non-land permanent. So if I'm correctly remembering, which I could be wrong, I believe Threshold is anytime you have like X amount of cards in graveyard. I got Valley Quest Caller, Rabbit Warrior. Whenever 1 or more other rabbits, bats, birds, or mice you control enter scry. Other rabbits, bats, birds, mice get +1/1. Oh, that's a nice one if I play white. Alright, last one. I got a new card, Bark Knuckle Boxer, Raccoon Berserker. When you expend 4, Bark Knuckle gains indestructible to the end of turn. I got Night Whirl Hermit, Vigilance, Threshold. As long as, yeah, see, so 7 or more cards. So I think Threshold is just 7. As long as they're in your graveyard, it gets +1/0 and can't be blocked. And then Corpse Bury Cultivator, Squirrel Warlock. That is a fat squirrel. That is a very fat squirrel, and I'm here for it. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, you may forage. Forage means exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food. Okay. Whenever you forage, put a 1/1 counter on this card. Blue. That's a green-black. And from my rare, I got Raccoon Rogue, Byway Barterer, Menace. Whenever you spend 4, meaning whenever you spend your 4th total mana to cast spells, if discard your hand if you do draw 2 cards. That could be good or bad. If I'm in a tight squeeze, then that's where we're at, but could be worse. Okay, So with that all in tow, if I wanted to go and build a deck, you see, so Thorben, that's the card I usually use for all of those. If I wanted to build a deck, and I only wanted to use Bloomborough, now I have all these cards to choose from. So much better than before. I had like 20 cards. No calling for that. I can actually make a nice standard deck of 60 cards with this. And then we can see how I do. But that'll be for another stream. For now, I am going to go ahead and say, and this card changes, that I did a lot of work. And I was able to at least try my first sealed. So that's my first sealed event that I've ever done. I'm sure I will do it again eventually. But ultimately, I wanted to be able to build up my collection so I could make my own deck, or at least start making my own deck, and start playing around with some of the other cards in this set so I can get used to them. Because as you can see, I was reading everything. I don't know this deck at all. So we'll try it again maybe next week or anything like that. I will, however, do a video of Bloomborough. I believe I can do constructed. Bring a 60 card deck, which I believe I can now do. So I'll construct my deck. I'll make a video of what my deck's going to be like, and then we will join the midweek sign up for it and go from there. So thank you all very much for joining. I appreciate it, for checking this out, and I hope that I've made some progress. I think I have, and I hope to do better in the future. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing you on the next stream, or recording. As always, stay safe, everyone.